The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet is what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at winbet.com or download the WinBet app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the Final Four Watch Party. Sports Gambling Podcast is watching the games over on youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Hang out with Sean, Kobe, and Ryan. Win prizes, sweat out your bets. youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Plus, make sure to fill out our listener survey for a chance to win a $100 SGPN gift card. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survey. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. at your service. And sorry, not sorry to everybody who lost their parlay because they decided to add Boston at like -7, 800 to their parlay. I truly, honestly, do not feel bad for you at all whatsoever. So, I mean, there's that. But it's a Wednesday, so I got my guy Scott Studio Rochelle with me. Scott, what's going on?
Yeah, nothing much. Overall, had a pretty decent day. Ended up splitting the initial lock and dog picks, but there's a separate side story to that. Ended up giving it a bonus dog, though, so that ended up winning. I had the Hawks team total over 119.5 as my lock. Closed at 120.5, landed exactly 120, so I guess I'll take it. Then for the dog, I know Munaf took Hornets first quarter. I mentioned Hornets first quarter. I mentioned Hornets full game. I gave out Hornets first half, and that's the only thing that lost. They won the first quarter and the full game, but they lost the first half. So there's that. And then I gave out Nick Richards double-double as my bonus dog at like plus 130, and that got there easily. Him and Kai Jones both had double-doubles. So nice job by the Hornets centers there. Overall, can't really complain too much about yesterday. The Celtics no-showing was a bit surprising, but either way, point is, it was surprising to some, okay? But either way, the main takeaway that I had,
For everybody that didn't see the eye roll that I made when he said surprising on audio version, just imagine an incredible eye roll that I gave because it wasn't surprising.
For me, that wasn't the most surprising thing that happened yesterday. The most surprising thing, which kind of is going to bleed into a bit of a load management rant.
Oh, dang it. No. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
I'm curious what you were going to say, but I was going to say Jimmy Butler not playing in what's close to a must-win game for the Heat against Toronto.
Oh, okay. I guess that is kind of... Well, I mean...
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Let's say that. It's weird.
It is. The Heat are competing for the final spot to avoid the play-in, and they're playing a back-to-back. It was the first night of it because they have the Knicks again tonight. And Butler's supposed to play, then it moves to questionable, then it moves to doubtful in the span of 2 hours, and he's basically ruled out by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what happened with the NBA, but can we get players who actually want to play meaningful games?
I don't think it's the players.
I'm not sure.
I mean, the players.
Even if
the
it's behind
players
the
have
scenes,
said it's not them.
You have to win it. You have to play every game at this point. You have 10 games left in the season.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but I mean, I just don't think it's the players. Like the players have come out and said it's not them, and that there's the medical staff won't let them play, the team won't let them play. They say you're not playing tonight, and I mean, hey, I'm sure if for the most part, especially a guy like Jimmy Butler, I'll never accept the fact that Jimmy Butler chose on his own to sit out while they're going into a playoff. Like I'll never. Jimmy Butler's a guy that wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning to be in the gym at 3 a.m. So,
and he's actually been healthy lately, so it's not like he's had lingering injuries. He played 20-something straight games, but I just found it weird with basically 10 games left in the season or even less, and you're tied for the final spot to avoid the play-in. Your best player can't play a back-to-back. I just found that whole situation bizarre, and I kind of wanted to mention it. But shout out to the Hornets, though, because they were a team that all three of us on the show yesterday were on. Unfortunately, I gave out the wrong part of it in the dog segment, but still, I thought they had a shot to win the game. I thought that they had a shot to get out to an early lead. They did. They just gave up 45 points in the second quarter. And shout out to PJ Washington, who I believe on air yesterday said was not a very good basketball player. and he dropped 43 points. So shout out to him. Impressive performance there. You also had the Pelicans collapse in the fourth quarter if you want to talk about that, but that was kind of my main takeaways for yesterday's action.
It just wasn't the fourth quarter. It was a tale of two halves for the New Orleans Pelicans, where in the first half they allowed 46 points. Very, very good defensive effort in the first half. But in the second half, they only scored 46 points, which is a very, very easy way to blow whatever lead you have. And ensure that those of us that were on Golden State -9 had never, never even sweated the end of that game because it was like 101, 105 at one point. And then next thing you know, the Warriors easily go out and get a cover.
I tweeted it out, but the second Golden State tied the game in the fourth quarter, the game was over.
Yeah.
But New Orleans was totally shot.
Not just the game. The game wasn't just over. If you thought that New Orleans +9 had any chance of covering, you gave up at that moment in the game.
I tweeted out, that's exactly what I said. I said, when Golden State tied it, there's no chance that New Orleans is going to cover the spread. Like the game's over. The Pelicans just wanted to go home. You can tell, you could see it as the game was going on. Golden State got wide open looks on basically every possession down the stretch, and New Orleans just emotionally was absolutely fried.
It was 101, 105, and then Golden State goes on a 15-8 run to end the game and get the cover. Whew. I don't know what's worse, that collapse, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but you honestly probably don't care, or Wisconsin's collapse to North Texas where they didn't score the last.
Wisconsin's worse. I'm going to stop you right now. You cannot. I don't care what level of basketball you play in, whether it's the NBA, whether it's AAU, whether it's, just basic high school basketball, middle school basketball, even elementary school basketball. You can't score a point in the final 9 minutes of a basketball game. 0 points in 9 minutes. That's got to be the worst.
If you had the under in that game, you got to go donate to charity today.
Total was 115. You had 70 points in the first half. Game landed 110 because you had 40 points combined in the second half.
You gotta go donate to charity.
0 points, not field goals. 0 points in the final 9 minutes. How does that even happen?
WynnBET is the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and active in a bunch of states, including the state of Massachusetts, where everybody has a ticket on Boston to win the NBA Finals, and they're all going in the garbage. March Madness is also still here, so you can continue to bet that with WynnBET. Sign up today, get a special offer, bet $100, get $100 limit to state availability. And don't forget about the DGen Long Shot Parlay of the Week, where if you hit the parlay with the longest odds on WynnBET, you get $1,000 free credit. So much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to wynnbet.com or download the WynnBET app. All subject to change, terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where play through WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And looking to hang out with Sean, Ryan, and watch the Masters? You can do that in Vegas. But you have to enter the contest. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party to hang out with Sean and Ryan at Stadium Swim to catch the Masters. You can win a 3-night stay at Circa Las Vegas. And if you don't win the contest, like let's say you're not the lucky person that wins the contest, and I believe they're drawing for the contest at the Final Four watch party. So make sure you go to the Final Four watch party. You can see who wins the contest. But if you don't win, you can still get a discount on the room using promo code SGP15. Also, you have, like I said, the Final Four watch party. You can watch that Saturday, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. They'll be in the studio watching the Final Four games. They'll be live. You'll be able to hang out, talk, sweat the bets, all of that for the entire Saturday of Final Four action. All right, Scott, let's go ahead and get into the slate here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games to go on a Wednesday. Kicking things off in Indiana because Indiana Pacers are welcoming the Milwaukee Bucks. -12 for the Bucks this go around. 238.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and we have Giannis, who is probable. Drew Holiday is not on the injury report. And Chris Middleton is actually questionable and whether he'll play with injury management today. Same thing for Joe Ingles, who is questionable. Jay Crowder's already been ruled out. Miles Leonard is out, and Gordon Dragic is probable to play. So this is, I believe, this is a back-to-back set for Milwaukee. Yes, because they have Boston tomorrow.
Yeah. And
So,
Boston's going to come out ready for that Thursday game because they punted the game against Washington.
so you probably, I would be okay if they sat everybody for this. Well, not everybody, but like sat the questionable people for this game to prepare for the game on Thursday. All right, Lance, well, with Milwaukee, what are you doing?
Well, I am going to ask you that because you kind of brought it up briefly, but I was going to mention a potential look ahead. But on the other hand, the last time these teams did play, Indiana kind of smacked the crap out of them. Do you believe in like a revenge game spot here, or do you think Milwaukee's only focused on Boston tomorrow?
Mm,
Because it is worth mentioning Indiana did kind of kill them last time they played.
I think that the players that play are going to be focused on Indiana, but yeah, I think the players that play are going to be focused on Indiana. But I think the only look ahead spot is the fact that they say we'll sit who Middleton. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
looks like Giannis is going to play regardless.
And I'm not sure
So
how much Middleton's even worth at this point. Is he worth like
yeah,
less
no,
than
yes,
he's
no,
he's
he's
worth less
still.
than 2 points probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not giving Chris Middleton
Yeah.
2 points, but he's
That's what I'm
definitely
saying.
still. Yeah, I would give him a point and a half for
Yeah, okay.
sure.
Yeah, so we're on the same
Like,
page there.
yeah, he's definitely still worth something. It's just I think his contributions will be more added in. He'll have a more added contributions to the Boston game than this game because they again like it's the Pacers. One, you really don't care about this game. If you lose this game, you're like, oh, all right. Like, I mean, I'm not really tripping, but it's also the fact of you might not like. I don't know. Oh, I didn't even get to Indiana. Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton's out, Buddy Hield's out, Chris Duarte is out, Miles Turner is questionable. So it's like, I mean, they're sitting guys. You sit your guys. You still like your chances.
I think I'm going to lean to Milwaukee here. I really don't feel great about it, but I watched Indiana play against Dallas, and it was a tricky spot for Dallas to fully break down because on one hand, they look horrible with Luka and Kyrie in their current roster because it's an extremely flawed roster. On the other hand, they lost back-to-back games to the Hornets, so they were clearly motivated to beat up on an Indiana team, and they were up
Mhm.
basically 30 in that game in the fourth quarter. I watched it. It was hideous. Pacers looked horrible. I don't think I can back Indiana without Halliburton. Just watching that game, maybe it just completely kind
They
of
don't have a closer.
blinded me. I don't think I can take Indiana because I watched them against Dallas, and that was a murder. And Dallas doesn't blow out anybody, let alone win. So I'm going to lean to Milwaukee. I think they'll find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I'm still going Milwaukee too. Milwaukee. I'm gonna play it a little. Yeah, for the terms of against spread, I'm just taking Milwaukee -12.
They couldn't
But
score against Dallas. Like, Indiana's offense was really, really bad. They barely crossed 100 in that game, I think.
yeah, and I mean that was like an amazing get up spot for them. Even I think they'll score in this game just because that the Bucks will be really lackadaisical on defense. Like once you go up double digits in this game, I
Mhm.
don't think that they're caring about defensive intensity because they're probably going to be scoring on every single possession. So
I like the over anyway, but all 3 games this season, each meeting has had at least 251 points.
so
Totals 238 and a half.
here's how I want to play this. I want to play it in the first quarter, and I know the Bucks screwed me last time around, sitting Giannis and Drew Holiday. So now I feel very confident about the first quarter this time around. And so -4.5. You look like you're gonna have Giannis and you're gonna have Drew Holiday, which makes me feel good off the rip already. The line is 4.5. You look at the first quarter numbers over the past 3 games for both teams. Milwaukee is first in first quarter scoring at 36.3 points per game. And then Indiana's actually come up from their trash first quarter start. They are, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth in scoring. No, that's six. I'm sorry. Six in scoring at 31.3 points per game. So I actually don't trust them to score, so I don't
Most of
want
that's
to
with
take.
Halliburton, though. So
Yeah, I don't want to take the over 58.5. But I'm gonna take a page from Munaf's book and go
Bucks team
Bucks.
total.
Yeah, Bucks team total in the first quarter and Bucks minus 4.5 in the first quarter. It just feels like this is a 1+1 = 2 spot, and the Bucks come out one revenge game, get out to a really big start, so that you can relax people in the second half and think about Boston. But I just don't know how Indiana's going to continue scoring.
Yeah, I watched Indiana play once again. They scored 104 against Dallas. Played Atlanta the game before that. I'm going to toss that game out because Halliburton actually did play in that game. Played
Mhm,
Boston the game before that, scored 95. I think Milwaukee is going to win this game comfortably, especially now that they can put a stranglehold on the 1 seed race. In theory, if they end up beating Indiana and they lose to Boston, then that's fine because they still end up gaining. They basically don't lose any ground in the 1 seed race because Boston lost yesterday. So you can make an argument that they can, in theory, punt the game against Boston if they beat Indiana tonight because they're still going to be up for the 1 seed. I'm not saying
mhm,
they're going to do that, but you do have that option if you don't
mhm.
want to use your guys against Boston and save them for a playoff series. But the point is, I think I am going to lean to Milwaukee. I like your first quarter angle, first quarter team total. I like Bucks team total over. I think they could score 130 in this game. Once again, Dallas scored 127, and Luka and Kyrie both did not play a second in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
I think Milwaukee probably scores 125, 130 here. So I like Bucks team total over.
All right. Let's talk about Shady Rays and kicking off this year with the new gear with our friends and, Andrew Rob's favorite. And I'm going to have to do this read some good because Andrew Rob is not doing the read right now. So I'm going to have to do the read and make it amazing. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence, especially just knowing that you can have these cool spectacles and polarized sunglasses all over your face. If you haven't, go to Sean's Twitter and it will blow your mind. Go to Sean's Twitter page at Sean T Green and go to his gallery and look for the picture where he was skiing. Sorry, not snowing, skiing. When he was skiing and he took the picture with the glasses, and you can see the reflection of the phone in the glasses. And it's like this inception of looking at Sean through the reflection, through the reflection, or reflection, or reflection, or reflection, and the reflection, and the reflection of the reflection, and the reflection. That's how clear and nice these glasses are. And if they're ever lost or broken, they will send you replacements. And don't forget, they donate to Feeding America. Like, come on, guys. A company that is for the people. You got to love that. So go to shadyrays.com, use code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. All right. Let's get into the rest of this slate. We have the Houston Rockets on the road going to play the Brooklyn Nets. Nets are a minus 10.5 point favorite. The line opened up at 13. 229 is the total. That's come down 1.5 for the Houston Rockets. We have Deshaun Tate, who is out. Big surprise. And Brooklyn Nets, we have Royce O'Neal not on the injury report. Seth Curry not on the injury report. Edmund Sumner is questionable. And Ben Simmons is shut down for the rest of the year. I didn't have to say that. I just wanted to say that because I felt like I haven't said Ben Simmons' name in a long time. All right. I will go ahead and caveat this with I am already saying on a Houston plus 12.5 ticket.
Okay.
Because I just felt like it was way too many points for this Brooklyn Nets team to overcome. And Houston's actually been playing pretty decent ball as of late. However, I will defer to the person who is a Nets fan, but you wouldn't believe it by any way that he talks about the Nets. Scott, what are you doing?
So for this matchup, you said Houston's playing better. They have lost 6 straight. I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of those games were blowouts. They did hang tough against Memphis, lost by 5, played again, and then they immediately lost by 37. The Nets have not played well either. However, they got up for the most important game in the stretch because they beat Miami by 29 points. Still can't believe Miami was favored by 6 points in that game. But you're looking at who the Nets have played recently. they've played some pretty good teams. Orlando's been a better team lately, but that was also a back-to-back, so they got killed in that one. Beat Miami, played Cleveland twice, close, they lost. Played Denver, they lost. Played Sacramento, they lost. Played Oklahoma City, they lost. So they have had a relatively difficult schedule lately. Houston is a team that already got killed by the Nets once this season at home. The Nets beat them by 22 in early March. However, I do kind of understand your point. It's a lot of points to be laying with a Nets team that has offensive issues. And we saw Dinwiddie go 0 for 11, I think, last game against Orlando. I think he'll play better. Bridges, we know, is still very good. I still don't really like the supporting cast for the Nets. It's fine, but you're relying on like Finney Smith and Joe Harris and some other guys I'm not a big fan of. I can understand your point because if Jalen Green or Kevin Porter Jr. have solid games, the Nets aren't going to score enough to cover. It's just not going to happen. So I think I agree with you. I'm going to lean to Houston. The Nets have really not been a very good home team at covering the spread lately, and even just winning games outright recently. Just to pull it up, the Nets have lost each of their last 4 home games outright, and as a result, they haven't been close to covering. I think I agree with you. I think I'm going to lean to Houston. I know it's been ugly for the Rockets for the past week or so, but they still have some talent. I think they could score enough to keep this game somewhat close. And the Nets offensively, I'm not automatically penciling in to score 115, 120 points. So I think if Houston scores 105, maybe even 100 flat, you might be good. I'm going to lean to the 12.5 with you.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that was the same logic you had there, but that's what I'm going to.
yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. I was just like, I don't think that the Brooklyn Nets, one, they're just not the best defensively, where I think that they'll just completely take the Rockets out of this game. But I mean, I watched the Knicks games and the Knicks game, and the Rockets were competitive for 3 quarters. We saw them be competitive in that Memphis game. Now, of course, the second time go around, adjustments.
They got Dylan Brooks back for that second game.
Dylan Brooks. Like, it was a lot of other stuff that went into that. But when I watch the Rockets, I sit there and I look at them and I say, well, I don't think that they're playing terrible. Like, I don't watch them and be like, oh, this team absolutely terribly sucks. Like, I
the
think
defense
that
sucks, but the players they have are young and they're progressing. Like Jabari Smith has actually had a pretty good month or two.
Yeah, so I think that, all of that combined just makes me have, a little bit more faith in the Rockets in this one. Maybe I'll look to play them early, but we'll see. I felt comfortable with the 12.5 that I got. And I still feel like the 10.5 is still a little bit too much, to be honest. Like, I think that this can absolutely be a 6, 7, 8 point game where it's like you're not afraid of the Nets losing the game, but they're not getting the cover.
But it's hovering around that number like the entire time.
Yeah. So, all right. Totals at 220. What was it? 229. Yeah, 229. What are you doing?
This one I'm really torn on because based on how Houston's played lately, it's really tough to take an under because Houston's going to be giving up a bunch of points. 137 to the Knicks. The Cavs game was low scoring, so you have that. But they gave up 151 to Memphis, 130 to Memphis, 121 to Golden State. The Nets, though, aren't a great offensive team. So I'm kind of in the middle. I think I'm going to lean to the under, but I really don't feel good about it. But the first meeting was low scoring. I think I'm going to lean under, but there's no chance I play the total here. But I guess since I'm picking Houston to cover, I have to lean to the under because based on how bad Houston's defense has been, if the Nets score 130, they're going to cover this number. So I think it's correlated. I'm going to lean to the under.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm slightly into the under. Not really a great play on this one, but I think this is a spot where they can compete in this game. I think the Nets will let them compete. All right.
If it goes over, though, I think the Nets win this game by like 15. So, because that implies the Nets are going to score like 130 points.
Let's see here. Prop wise, is this the Claxton game?
I think it is. I was going to mention that, but then you just brought it up. I thought Claxton double-double had some merit, maybe blocks if you want
points
to go
and
defense,
rebounds.
But
points and rebounds is 21.5.
Claxton in the only meeting this season did have 18 and 13. against
Yeah.
Houston. So he had himself a game. Houston, they still have Şengün as their center, and he still can't jump. If you're going to roast Jokic's defense, wait until you see Şengün. But no, actually, though, I think Claxton's going to be able to
No, I
control the
mean
paint.
Şengün is real. Like all Alfred Şengün is just a great value Nikola Jokic. Like that's it. He's the great value version. You know how you have the name brand version right next to it, and then you're looking and you're in Walmart and you see the
The
great
off-brand that's
value.
like $2
Yeah,
cheaper.
and it's the great value version. It's
Mhm.
like Nikola Jokic is Texas toast, and Alfred Şengün is great value garlic bread. Like that's what it is. That's what he is.
I do agree about the Claxton move, though, just because he looked really good against Houston in the first meeting. He had 4 blocks in that game, by the way. Claxton's last 3 games against Orlando, Miami, and Cleveland, 4 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks. He's been hovering around a double-double basically in every game, but I do think against Houston in particular, he has a lot of vertical spacing against Şengün, and you're assuming Şengün will get switched into a bunch of pick and rolls. So I like Claxton props. I like double-double there. I think he'll be able to have a big game. Şengün rebounds, I'm not sure about because I am concerned about some potential foul issues if he gets switched on to Dinwiddie or Bridges and maybe they get a bit crafty with it and he gets into foul trouble. Or maybe Silas just benches him again because he doesn't guard anybody. But I'm going to lean to the double-double for Claxton. I know I got burned last game with Dinwiddie against Houston. I thought about a double-double because he was facilitating very well. Then he went well under against Houston. Are you expecting a Dinwiddie bounce back game after he went 0 for 10 or 0 for 11 from the floor against Orlando?
I mean, you gotta think so.
I got to assume so.
I mean, this is the matchup to bounce back.
Yeah. By the way, I think if I was going to take any rebound props on Houston, I'd probably take Jabari Smith instead of Şengün. But I don't think it's a great matchup for Şengün here. Because Claxton's vertical. Şengün also, don't get me wrong, he's a decent back to the basket scorer, but with Jalen Green and with Porter Jr. being back in the lineup, Şengün's touches have really just fallen off a cliff. So I think I'm staying away from Şengün props. If I was going to take anything for Houston in terms of points, it would probably be I'd probably lean to Jalen Green if I had to pick anybody, just because he's going to shoot the most. But you have any thoughts there?
I don't know. I've really been staying away from the points props on Houston because I think it's like at this point in the season, it's that they're sharing the basketball so much, getting different guys touches that any of those guys can have a really good day. Like when you talk about Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Kenyon Martin Jr., like all of those guys, you can look up and one of those guys just randomly has a 15 to 20 shot day because they had the hot hand that day. So I think that I just want to go Claxton in this game and just keep it short.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought about maybe taking a Bridges under in assists, but he had 5, I believe, against Houston last game. Bridges' assist unders have been very, very good for the last couple of months at this point. You can go through the game log. Bridges never gets to 3. He's usually around 1 or 2. He's a great scorer. He never passes the ball. But if you wanted to go for a degen prop and you want to sweat out an under in assists, I don't mind that one for Bridges. But to read off the game log here for assists for Bridges, 1-7, 1-1-1, 2-2-2, 1-0. So he's barely going over. I think if you want to go degen there, Bridges under an assist is tempting, except for the fact that he had 5 against Oklahoma. He had 5 against Houston last time they played.
All right. So I skipped the prop section in the Bucks Pacers game.
They might bench everybody in the fourth quarter. If
I didn't have a single play that I was willing to play in that one. Do you have anything for that before we move on?
I saw somebody mention Nawara. If you want to go for a revenge game there for him, I don't mind it, but I don't know if he starts, so you might not be able to find a prop on that. The issue with Indiana is you can see a variety of guys score because the team isn't really playing for anything with Halliburton being out. Do you pivot to Nembhard assists? Maybe. But then again, you're kind of just scrambling, trying to guess what you think the game script's going to be for Indiana. Who's blowout proof on that team? Is everybody blowout proof because everyone's terrible? I mean, because the team's bad? You think Mathurin props? Like, I don't know what you do for Indiana. I'd probably blindly look to Brook Lopez, either points or blocks, because Lopez has been a monster, trying to go for defensive player. I don't know what else you take. You take Grayson Allen threes. You go with Giannis, like random triple-double. Is it a Giannis triple-double night? I don't know.
I'm truly good on anything because
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
A lot
really
of it
good.
can just come down to guessing which player you think is going to have the big game. But I can see a lot of guys having decent games there.
Noara is at 16.5 for his points.
Okay. If you want to go for a motivation angle, Nawara is going to be having a revenge game, but I guess I'd lean Nembhard points or Nembhard assists. Somebody's going to have to handle the ball. You go TJ McConnell assists? I don't know.
Is it anybody's birthday today?
Do you have how do you track the birthdays, by the way? Do you just search up NBA birthday calendar? Do you have an app for that? How do you actually track the birthdays in the NBA?
It's like Basketball Reference literally has every single person's birthday that's ever been in the NBA and
Oh,
WNBA
okay.
ever.
Cool.
And so I literally just go there and it'll tell you like nobody's birthday's today, but Robert Archibald's birthday was today.
I'm more of a
Man,
Nate Archibald guy.
Walt Frazier. Oh, it's Walt Frazier's birthday. Hey, happy birthday, my guy.
Well, we'll get to that during the Knicks breakdown, right?
Yeah, there we go. See, but yeah, they got like everybody imaginable, and it just has their all birthday.
But
Okay.
anyway, I don't have any
Yeah, I'm
props
good
in
on
that
that.
Bucks game really. But
Yeah, no, I got distracted. My mom was texting me. Ha! All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Dallas Mavericks going to play the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia opened up as a 5.5 point favorite. That line is down to 4. 231.5 is the total. That's actually going up a half a point. Injury point for these two teams. And we have for the Dallas Mavericks, injury recovery for Maxi Kleber. He's questionable. Don't think I've ever seen injury recovery. What was the injury? I mean, I assume if you're on the injury report, you're trying to recover from an injury. So what was the okay? Whatever.
I think he just has hurt feelings.
It's not even injury management. It says injury recovery. Like that's so fucking dumb. Oh my gosh. All right.
I don't
And
think Kleber's very good, so that doesn't mean anything to me. But
Frank Ntilikina, or as we call him,
Knicks legend, Frank.
yeah,
Ntilikina.
most hated. He's questionable with the knee injury. And for the 76ers, you have Joel Embiid and James Harden, both questionable.
So based on the line movement, are we assuming Embiid's not playing tonight? Total's going up, and
So
you've seen the money come in on Dallas, or at
that's
least the spreads dropped a bit. Is that telling, or it's too early?
so this is where I'm just like because the books still be giving James Harden the respect of what James Harden was in the past in terms of his availability and how they'll move the line because they actually do move the line if James Harden is not available. And I'm like, I don't
They're
think you
better
have to
without him
do that, guys.
at this point. At this point, based on the injury that Harden's dealing with, they're better without him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So like, I don't think you have to do that. So I don't want to go ahead and say that they're like this very well could be James Harden in this baked in this line somewhere of him not playing. But that would be more favorable to us because we like to back them when James Harden doesn't play because he's no good to us when injured. So
The spread dropped because odds makers heard that Harden might play, and he's worth negative 0.5 points at this stage. But once again, it's an Achilles injury. That's the problem you're running into with the Sixers, and why a lot of people were low on them, at least with their playoff hopes. It's because they have players who have had a history of getting hurt. Harden used to be very durable, hasn't been the case for the last couple of years. He's got an Achilles injury. That's not going to heal quickly. And I mentioned he's probably going to be out for a week or two about when that injury first happened, and he hasn't played since. And Embiid's got a calf injury. Now, Embiid still dropped 40 and change against Golden State. Then he played a back-to-back against Phoenix, which I still didn't understand. And then he ended up skipping the Denver game. It's a hell of a matchup if he plays against Dallas. If he plays and he can move around a little bit, he'll walk into 35. Having said that, do you think Embiid's going to play or not? Because with how the NBA teams handle injuries nowadays, the fact that Philly basically is not going to catch Boston in the division, I think we can say that. I don't think they're
yeah,
going to catch Boston.
no, probably not.
Do these games even mean anything for Philly? They're
No,
kind of
not
just in the
really.
3 seed, aren't they?
I think the only thing that these games mean is getting Joel Embiid MVP. That's
Yeah.
it. And because he's still in it for the MVP race, and this is such a plus matchup against Dallas. And I guess maybe that's where I was wrong on Monday in saying, was it Monday or was it Sunday? I don't know.
I
Whenever
believe it
I
was
was
Monday.
talking. Yeah. And I was like, he might sit against Dallas. I probably should have thought about it and be like, wow, wait, Dallas is like the perfect matchup to go drop
Yeah.
40, 50 points. So it's like, why would you sit that game and not sit the game against Denver? So I mean, I
So you think Embiid plays?
I don't I
Because
don't I
I'm
don't
leaning
I
that
don't
way
know.
too.
I thought I knew, but I don't know.
I'm
I
telling you
truly
right
don't
now,
know.
if Embiid does not play in this game, Jokic should be like minus 150, minus 200 to win the MVP because that
Why?
means Philly's going to barely play Embiid for the rest of the season. It seems like Philly's already starting to shift gears to try to keep Embiid healthy for the playoffs.
I mean, I don't know. I think you're reading I think you're reading a little too much into that. He literally just said, "I need a day off, guys." Like he literally just said it. He said it. I need a day off soon. Like I need a day off. I need a game off soon. I'm feeling very sluggish. I'm not feeling my best self. I'm like feeling like I'm dragging the team down. And he said, "I need a day off soon." And well, he just got the day off, so
I'm
maybe
also
that's all
reading
he
into it
needed.
because I do feel like it's fresh in people's minds. You can argue it's a 50-50 race. With Embiid missing a couple of games with a week or two to go, that might sway some voters. That's all I'm saying. I think
Mm.
some voters got swayed from Embiid not playing against Denver.
I really feel like if you have an MVP pick at this point, no matter what happens in these next 2 weeks, your mind's not changing. Like your mind is not changing. You have it in your mind. You're voting for who you're voting for.
I
Like
think the only
everybody
thing
can
that
say,
changes it is if Embiid doesn't play enough games. If Embiid misses a couple more games down the stretch, I think that would actually sway a lot of people. As for performance, I can agree with you. But it's some of its availability, which was being held against Embiid for his entire career. Can we agree on
if
that?
Embiid, no, I don't agree on that.
Really? Okay.
No,
I was saying because
I think I literally think no matter what, the only thing barring he doesn't play for the rest of the season, if Joel Embiid comes and plays 2 more games, what do they have? 6 games left? 7 games left? If he
I
plays,
believe around there.
yeah, so 5 in April
Yeah.
and 2 this month, so 7 games left. If he plays in 3 of the 7 games and he drops 35 plus in each one of those games, they're not changing their mind.
I think
I
if he
don't. I truly
misses
think everybody at whoever has a vote at this point in the season already has it made up in their mind who they're voting for. And so you could honestly go collect the votes now, and they probably be perfectly fine sending them in, not caring. Like I think everybody has their mind made up. It's 5, 6, 7 games left.
I'm going to
Everybody has their
agree to
mind made up.
disagree there. I think if Embiid misses the majority of the final 7 games, Jokic is going to win MVP, in
And
my
if
opinion.
Jokic, and yeah, and if my opinion, if Jokic wins MVP, it's because people already had Jokic slid for MVP. Like I don't think nobody cares about missing these last 7 games
I'm just saying
or
when you
any
have a
time later.
player with who's being known as relatively injury prone and he's going to play less than 70 games this year, he might play around 66, 65. That would be held against him for his MVP candidacy. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I get that, but I think that if he missed a whole bunch of games, or like if we're talking about all the games he missed in the beginning of the season,
Mhm.
I think that would have played a factor. Now we're sitting here at the end of the season. Everybody sees the position that they're in.
Yeah.
Everybody sees that he doesn't need to go play these games.
I'm
Like
just
you're,
saying, in a close race, you want to put your best foot forward last. You don't want to leave the
yeah,
voters with a negative opinion of you potentially entering the final stages of voting. That's my point.
yeah.
You
I
want to
know. I
leave
get
with your
that.
best foot
I
forward.
get what you're saying. I just think it's a tired narrative, and I just don't. I think that truly how biases go, that everybody that is on one side of the coin, it's a close race, but everybody is already on one side of the coin.
I think some people are undecided, but we'll see.
All right, back to actually handicapping the game. Who are you taking?
It all comes down to Embiid. And I know Philly's been pretty good without Embiid this season, even when Embiid's missed some time, but Dallas is a desperate team. You always got to be worried about desperate teams. Now, they beat Indiana, which means nothing to me because Indiana's a bad basketball team, especially with Halliburton not playing. But I do think that I got to lean to the over in this game because Dallas is going to try to go fast, and the last meeting they played had a bunch of points. I forgot the exact score. That was a TNT game. Dallas won by 7. I have it in front of me. That game landed 259. I think I'm going to lean to... Oh, boy. Do I think Embiid actually plays? I think he does. I think it's too good of a matchup for him not to play in. And I think Embiid obviously cares about the MVP. So I think it's a good performance, a good spot for him to go for like 40. I'm going to lean Philly. I don't feel great about it, but I can't trust Dallas, especially on the road. Once again, Dallas lost to the Hornets back-to-back games, and they had the all-time get-up spot against a tanking team in Indiana right now to win in blowout fashion. Means nothing to me. I'm going to lean to Philly at home. They got the bell. I'll lean to the bell -4.
I'm going Dallas.
Okay.
This is a get up spot for Dallas. I mean, what has in what parity the
My
NBA has
favorite play is
had
the
all
over, for the
season?
record.
And yeah, I do. I like the over too. But in what parity that the NBA has had this season, and how confusing, how only right would it be for the Dallas Mavericks to put themselves in a terrible situation by losing 2 straight games to the Charlotte Hornets and then come out here and beat the Philadelphia 76ers on the road?
I didn't think the
Like,
side was easy. I thought about Dallas, but I just leaned to Philly
yeah,
again because they're so good at home.
yeah. I'm just gonna back the team that I think has more motivation in this game to actually have a good game. Like if Dallas comes out here, it comes out fast. Like Philly doesn't have to scratch and claw and tire and beat themselves down to come back in this game, because essentially it's a pretty meaningless game for Philly. I'm back in Dallas with the motivation factor and the fact that I think that they're going to put up a whole bunch of points. I think Philly's going to put up a whole bunch of points because if Joel Embiid plays, he should walk into 40 points like
Yeah.
relatively easily, especially with you know everybody that's saying that, hey, he missed that game against the Nuggets, he's not going to win MVP anymore. And it just sounds like the Joel Embiid, like he hears all of that. Remember what he told Draymond? He hears all of that. So I would not be surprised if Joel Embiid plays and just drops 40 just to remind people that, hey, when I'm out here, I'm one of the best players in the league. And so with that, I do agree with you. I'm on an over 231.5. Plus, I like that movement of that half a point going over, but a lot of people betting the under as well. So I'm on Dallas and over. You're on Philly, like slightly into Philly.
I
You're
like the over more, but
yeah, over as well.
I can't really touch Philly until I know for certain if Embiid's going to play. But I do think that the Sixers at home, laying a short number here against a Dallas team that cannot guard anybody, I think has some merit.
All right. And ZM is really, really trying to convince me not to bet Dallas by asking me a bunch of questions of how I watch Dallas play ball. Thanks
You're
for
judging
the
the spot.
handicap.
And
Thanks
we've
for the
seen
handicap.
Philly with Doc Rivers in the past, whether it was a playoff game where they quit on him or, different reasons. Philly has been known to lay an egg or two in some decent spots, either at
one
the
in
end of the regular
four,
season or in the playoffs before.
one in
So,
four ATS the last 5 home games, it looks like. So I
yeah.
mean, but yeah, no, I'm wait, so Boston has Boston has Milwaukee and Philly up on deck. That's crazy.
Philly has a couple of games that are important this weekend, but Philly, I looked at the schedule. They play Dallas today. They play Toronto on Friday. And then
Mhm.
after the Toronto game, they play Milwaukee on Sunday and Boston on Tuesday. So they don't have
Yeah.
any immediate look at spots because they got a Toronto game on Friday. But they do have Milwaukee and Boston back to back starting on Sunday.
All right. Props.
Embiid if he plays. I mean,
Yeah.
Embiid points, Embiid rebounds, Embiid everything. My question for you for Dallas,
Kyrie.
do you pivot to Christian Wood because Kleber's probably not going to play? Somebody's going to have to get more minutes.
No, of course. It's gonna be Dwight Powell.
You think it's going to be Powell, even though he plays like 5 minutes in the first quarter and then he just
Yeah.
vanishes into thin air?
Yeah. He's gonna,
I'm,
he's just gonna start. He's gonna go start, and just because they don't want Christian Wood to start, and then Christian Wood's gonna come in, he's probably gonna get, like you said, all those minutes in usage. So
I mean, of course, I'm going to go with Luka and I don't know. Kyrie's been pretty bad lately, but I think I have to lean to Kyrie anyway.
I think Kyrie shows out this game.
Well, if you're picking Dallas to win, then you're picking both guys to go nuts realistically because Dallas has no good supporting cast. I mean, they have a couple of players like Green, maybe Hardaway threes, if you really want to try to find a role player to bet on. But
I
I
was
feel like
thinking
you're
bullet
blindly
threes.
expecting Luka and Kyrie to play well if you're picking Dallas to win the game.
I was thinking bullet threes when I was thinking of who was gonna be that person that benefited. I feel like Reggie Bullock was gonna have a good 3 game,
He's
but
been better lately, but I still have PTSD from how bad he was earlier this year that I just don't think I can ever take a Bullock 3 prop. But yeah, I can understand that. I wouldn't mind Hardaway Jr. here, but yeah, I like the overs for those star guys. I like the over. So I'm going to expect the star players to show up. Do you want to make a case for a Luka triple double or anything like that? Maybe Luka rebounds or anything like that?
yeah, yeah. Philly, they can be very unserious on the boards. So
We've roasted Embiid for that in the past. That's why I'm asking.
yeah, absolutely, they can be very, very unserious on the boards. Are you back on really quick because we're 45 minutes in and we've only talked about 3 games? Are you back on
You knew we
the
were doing
assist
2 parts
props?
anyway, so
Are you on the assist prop for MB today?
no. I don't think I am because I don't think Dallas is a team that actually double teams in the post. Dallas might just go into this game and say, we'll trade our 3-pointers for your 2-pointers, and they'll let Embiid go for 40. So I'm not sure if this team would actually collapse in the low post against Embiid. I don't believe they did in the last meeting, which is why Embiid cooked them, I think. I don't remember them
Yeah.
double teaming, but I remember Embiid having a good game. I like Maxi props, obviously. I keep talking about Maxi, and he keeps going for 30. So I'm going to keep taking Maxi. He had a massive jump in his player props last game
Mhm.
because nobody else played on the team. Harden didn't play, Embiid didn't play, and Maxi still walked into 30 and change, or 29, went over his number of 27 and a half. I'm still on Maxi. I've been mentioning him for a while. He's still really good, especially against this Dallas backcourt, which can't guard anybody. I love Maxi in the spot.
All right, they're dropping. Kyrie has 17 points in his last couple of games. I'm really like, I don't care. I really don't care when star players have bad stretches because again, they're star players. Uh, they find ways to just get out the slide and get it done. If that was the case, people would have been fading Jason Tatum for a good portion of the year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really don't care when star players have bad stretches. However, in his last 5 games against Philadelphia, he's been pretty good. 37, 24, 23, 30, and 40 in his last 5. That 40 was a game. He was actually a Dallas Maverick by that point when he scored that 40. So 24 and a half is his number tonight. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Miami Heat on a back-to-back going to play the New York Knicks. The Knicks opened up at 4, now over to 5. 223 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Miami Heat. Most everything's basically TBD. Kyle Lowry is not expected to play the back-to-back though, and we'll see what Jimmy Butler does. But you should pretty much assume that he's going to play because he sat the first leg of the back-to-back. For the New York Knicks, really the only thing that matters is Jalen Brunson is questionable with that hand injury,
And when you
and
say
if he
matters,
plays or not.
quickly did go for 40 when Brunson didn't play last game. So
Again, the
it,
only
it
thing that
matters,
matters,
but yeah.
again, the only thing that matters because I'm not trusting Emmanuel quickly every single game.
Yeah, I got
but
that.
but yes, Jalen Brunson is a very valuable piece here into this pie for the New York Knicks. All right, Knicks -5 at home.
Then the Heat play the Knicks very tough, usually, and that's been the case for a while.
Before this season, they actually dog walked the Knicks for
Yeah.
about 15 of 17 games. I'm pretty sure something
Well,
like that.
even this year, the Knicks have done relatively well, but you got to remember Randall hit that miraculous 3-point shot. So you can argue that
Bang!
Miami should be up
Bang!
a crazy double bang for Mike Breen. I watched that live, but still, I'm going to lean to the Knicks here. I just hate this Miami team with a passion. I have been so anti-Miami for about 3-4 months,
Well, that's
and
good because they have the worst record against spread.
yeah, they are so annoying to follow. And yesterday was a good example of it. I leaned Miami against Toronto because I thought, decent spot where they're going to get up and Butler will have a good game. And then Butler didn't play. So Miami doesn't even care. Like, I don't know what the hell Miami's doing. They can't cover a spread either at home or on the road. The Knicks have the better roster, in my opinion. They actually have an identity and they can score. Like, I don't think Miami can score, especially with Butler battling a neck injury. I'm sure he'll play in this game. it was factored in that they had a back-to-back and they decided to sit him in the first game. But I'm going to go with the Knicks here. They've been playing good basketball. I think at the end of the day, the Knicks are the better team. You have meaningful basketball in late March in MSG. That doesn't happen that often. I think the Knicks crowd is going to be into it. I know, shots fired. I'm going to lean to the Knicks, though. I really just don't like the Heat. Plus, they're traveling from Canada. It's not a great scheduling spot for the Heat. Give me the Knicks. I hope they don't choke it in the fourth quarter. I think they're going to be covering this number with like 5 minutes to go. The question is if they could hold off Jimmy Butler and the Heat from maybe making a backdoor cover. But I'm going to lean to the Knicks. I just can't trust Miami. I can't do it. I don't like this team.
Okay.
And I've gone on record with that for a long time. Like 30 games in, I'm like, I don't think Miami's very good. And nothing's really changed.
All right. And where's my stuff at? Okay, here we
I
go.
was going to say, you're the Knicks fan here, so I'm kind of curious where you're leaning on this one.
So there's a lot of things to look at. First thing to look at is that the Knicks defense, like I said 4 games ago, 3-4 games ago, when the Knicks go on bad stretches of bad defense, it's typically stretches of bad defense. Like
Usually
there's multiple. Yeah, after the Minnesota game, I said, oh well, they just gave, that was a terrible defensive game. They're probably going to have some pretty bad defensive games. Last 5 games, the Knicks have given up 120.6 points per game. That is 23rd in the NBA. And they are giving up 43.4% from 3. That is 30th last in the NBA, 23rd defensive rating. And somehow the Heat have a worse defensive rating than them at 26. So things that do go in the Knicks' favor, however, is the fact that the Knicks are 4th in rebound percentage. The Miami Heat are 23rd. And the Knicks' offensive numbers are absolutely tremendous over this stretch, where they're 3rd in offensive rating, the Heat 19th, 122 points per game for the Knicks, 5th in the NBA over the last 5 games, and the Heat are 106, 27th in the NBA, and that includes a 127-point game at home. So against the Knicks. So here's how I'm playing this one. I'm playing Knicks and I'm playing them early. And I'm only playing them early if Jalen Brunson is playing. Because
You're going back to the original Knicks first half play.
Yes, I am. Because I got screwed with Jalen Brunson not playing the last game, and they didn't cover the number against the Rockets. However, I feel confident.
Wait. You mean the first half number against the Rockets?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And so Knicks first half this season, as you know, second in the NBA only to the Memphis Grizzlies at 25-11-2. Last 10 games, 5-4-1. That's a little bit in part of some terrible defense with them. Heat on the road this season, 17-20 to the first half number. Last 10 games, 3-7 to the first half number. You have the Heat coming out of Toronto, so now they have to go through customs. They have to do this COVID stuff. They have to do all of that stuff, and then finally get to New York and get rest. And knowing how Jimmy Butler is, he probably got about 2 hours of sleep before he woke up and got in the gym the next morning. So,
but he's got coffee.
Yes, probably decaf. And yeah, so I like the numbers. I like the spot. I think that getting -1, 2.5 with the Knicks in the first half feels good. And then I can save myself from a second half collapse of the New York Knicks that will probably make me pull my hair out. So in terms of the show, I think I will just go with the Knicks first half -2.5. In terms of full game, I just have a hard time believing in the Knicks in spots that matter. But I will do it today, and I'll continue it with Knicks -5. But that is no way in any shape, form, or whatever going on to my card.
I do like your first half play there, but I'll also lean full game. I really just don't like the scheduling spot for Miami, and I think the Knicks are a better team than Miami, simply put.
All right. Total set at 223. That's actually dropped a few from 228.5. Are you buying into a slow-paced game?
Oh, wait, you're telling me the total dropped 5.5 points?
Yes, it did.
That is shocking, because the last meeting landed 247. That is shocking. Okay.
Yes.
This calls for a ref report, doesn't it?
It does. Let's go ahead and pull up the ref report, because that is the only thing that could actually possibly stop me from betting it over.
It's a
So
Tony Brothers game.
it's a Tony Brothers game. I will pull up Tony Brothers numbers right here. For the over under, Tony Brothers is 32 and 25 to the over.
Okay.
Who else is on the card? Let's just go through all three. Tony Brothers. Wait, let me pull the rest of his stuff up. So Tony Brothers. Wait, where'd he go? Where you at, Tony? There you are. All right. Total, and it's looking like average 234 and a half for the
Okay.
game. Who's next?
Do you have Brothers numbers, by the way, for favorites or like home teams or anything like that? Or you only have totals?
29, 25, and 4 to the home team.
Okay. So a little bit over 500, but still.
Yeah. All right. Who else is on the card?
You have Justin Van Doyne. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Holy shit, Van Doyne. What the fuck do you even be calling anything?
What, is he like a dead under guy?
Yo, he's 18 and 38 to the
That's
over.
actually kind of wild. Okay, 18 and 38. That's kind of sick.
That's insane. Do you even do anything? Are you just sitting, running up and down the court and just getting cardio for the day? Are you even watching the game? Like,
And then the last one you have is Andy Nagy. Nagy's the last one.
There's no way you're reffing the game. There's no way you're reffing. Like, you're really just out there just getting a run in and, talking to the players, having a good time, probably dapping up Spike Lee on courtside. You're not watching the game.
18 and 38 is wild.
That's not not
so
real.
Wild.
Like, I don't want to believe that. Okay. All right. Who's the last person?
You had Andy Nagy.
Andy Nagy is 28-16 to the over, 131.3 points. Let me go back to Van Dyne.
Okay, so 2 refs are for the over. Brothers a little bit, not that much. But you have a dead under ref in the middle.
Van Dyne, even though he is 18 and 38 to the under, he still averages 224.8 points per game. So everybody clears this number in terms of points per game.
I think I'm going to lean to the over.
Yeah.
The fact that it's moved this much and the refs are actually not all pro under is kind of weird to me. I'm going to lean over. In fact, Brothers, we know, calls a lot of fouls. That's why a lot of people hate him.
I mean, just before we even looked at the ref report, I was already on the over. And
this was the cherry on top.
Is it maybe it's because the Heat are coming off the back-to-back and you're thinking about what they did yesterday and what they scored like 90-something points yesterday.
Yeah, Butler didn't play.
Yesterday.
So if you're assuming Butler's going to suit up for this game, the Heat are a completely different team when he plays or not. I still don't like him, but they're better when he plays.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm on over 223. All right, props.
Do you blindly take quickly props if Brunson's out?
No.
Okay. I like Mitchell Robinson rebounds.
I'm not touching anything Mitchell Robinson.
But you're afraid they're going to use Hartenstein more?
No, it's not that. It's just like when you watch Mitchell Robinson play, like he just kind of looks like very unserious right now. Like you can tell he's discontent with his role and he's not doing the things that he normally does well. Like, what was it? Who was it? It was Şengün in that Rockets game that I was watching. It was one play where like it was so obvious Şengün was about to spin and go left and go because that was the open lane. Mm-hmm. If he went right, he was getting caught by the baseline. Like you were basically double teamed on the right side. It was so obvious he was about to go left, and he just like hits. Mitch Robinson just lets him hit him with this ill spin move to go inside the lane and score and get the foul. And it's like, bro, like he didn't even try on defense. And there's so many other little moments, but that was just the one that I remember that stuck out. But like, he just doesn't.
You mentioned the rebound disparity between these teams. That's why I kind of brought it up. So do you like Randall rebounds then? Yeah,
I'll go Randall rebounds.
Okay.
I feel it's at 8.5 too. Like that's really fallen off since he like stopped going on his double streak. It's at 8.5.
Well, Robinson came back and his role kind of shifted where he doesn't prioritize rebounding as much, but I think he should.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with Julius Randle double here. Man, Grimes should really stop shooting the ball right now. I really want to take this Grimes under 9.5, but I'm afraid that he's going to continuously put up shots, and at some point they're going to go in. But
it's no hesitation either. He gets the ball, he's chucking it.
It's the ultimate, and I respect it so much. And if the Knicks were like I really would be more pissed off at him if the Knicks were fighting for something, but we're pretty much locked into where we're going to be at. So I really don't care. Like, do whatever right now. Just know
You're
you're not
basically
pulling
the
that
5.
shit. Like you're not pulling that shit in the playoffs though. But do whatever right now. I don't really care. But man, like he really should stop shooting the basketball. His under 9.5 should really be a lock. But I'm afraid that he's still going to put up a number of shots.
I think I'm tempted by Randall threes because based on how Miami defends him, aren't they going to sag off a bit and try to keep Randall on the outside from what they've done historically speaking?
I think you feel more confident if he's taking the threes rather than beating you on the inside.
That's what I'm saying. So I wanted to look it up though, but I know Randall, of course, had that game winner against the Heat, but I want to see how he's done from 3 against this team because selective recall tells me Miami tends to sag off against them and they let him take a bunch of shots from the outside. So I wouldn't mind Randall threes, but I just want to see this. Last meeting went 1 for 5. Game before that, 8 for 13, 3 for 9. So he's attempted at least 9 3-pointers in 2 of the last 3 meetings.
I am going to do a parlay if I'll say if, because Lord knows I don't know what's going on with Jalen Brunson. Every time I think he's going to play, he's not. So if Jalen Brunson plays, I will do a points parlay with Jalen Brunson and Jimmy Butler. That will be on the card. And for a little razzle dazzle, nah, he's actually been putting up pretty solid numbers. Okay, no. I was going to go back to RJ under, but he's actually been putting up pretty solid numbers against the Heat. Yeah, so now I'm just going to go if Brunson plays, because he's probably going to come in at like 23.5, like Jimmy Butler. I'm going to do a points parlay with Brunson and Butler.
There is one prop that I do want to look at, but I just want to see how his numbers are against the Knicks. Because I know you've roasted Bam for not being the most aggressive guy on the glass, but his rebound number is 7.5.
Yeah, that's sick.
That sounds very low.
That's sick. He can get 8. I'm sorry, he can get 8. If
and
he doesn't get 8, that's garbage.
He's gone under the last 2 meetings against the Knicks, but he played 40 minutes last meeting, played 39 minutes the meeting before that, and then the games before that, 9 rebounds, 16, 8, and 17. I think I have to take Adebayo rebounds. 7.5 for a guy that might play 40 minutes is way too low. I got to take the over on that. Even if you don't like Adebayo, like that's just a good price. What's Adebayo double-double? That's got to be a decent price as well. I know that you're anti-Adebayo double-double, but if the price range is in the 2 to 1s, I got to at least mention it. It's plus 260 for a starting center playing 40 minutes. I think I have to be tempted by Adebayo double-double, don't I?
Yeah, I guess.
Plus 260.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I just know if I co-sign, it's not going to hit. I just want you to know.
I'm assuming it'll go horribly wrong, but based on the minutes and the role on the team and the fact that Miami really doesn't have any other guys that specialize in rebounding, I got to be tempted by the Adebayo rebounds on principle.
Yeah. Butler over 5.5 rebounds. All right. Let's go ahead and cut this part for the audio version for part 1. YouTube, y'all know what to do. Audio podcast people, you know what to do too. Part 2, starting now. And we're back for part 2 of the NBA Gambling Podcast, where we went entirely way too long talking about 4 games because we had an MVP debate. But these next 6 games we should fly through, and we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers on the road going to play the Chicago Bulls. Did the Lakers have a game in between here?
No. This is
so the Lakers didn't have a game in between. The Bulls had the Clippers.
Yeah.
All right. Lakers opened up as a 1.5 point favorite. No, this line actually opened up as a pick. Interesting. This line opened up as a pick.
I think I saw it 2 last night, so it might have been.
It's at 2.5 now.
I'm saying it was 2 last night at like 2 a.m.
Oh, when I was recording the other show and I was talking about this game, it was at 1.5. So I did. That's why I thought it opened up at 1.5. But so yeah. It's at 2.5 now. 227.5 is the total. Let's see here. Injury report for these 2 teams. LeBron James is questionable with that foot injury. Anthony Davis is probable with his foot injury and whatever million other injuries he has. And D'Angelo Russell is probable with his hip. That is a good news right there. Chicago Bulls, you have Alex Caruso questionable with the foot injury. Javonte Green is questionable with the knee. And that's about it there. All right. D'Angelo Russell playing is different than last go round. So, what are you doing here?
I'm on the Lakers. I don't like this team, but I have to at least acknowledge that it was such a phenomenal letdown spot for the Lakers last time out. You have a home game. LeBron's coming back for the first time in like a month. And you assume, all right, LeBron's back. We got AD who's healthy. We're going to kill this team. And they came out flat and they got buried. I think it's a very good bounce back
very
spot.
much. Thank you, me, for calling Chicago into points in that game. Thank you.
I think it's a very good spot for the Lakers, especially since the Bulls played a game in between. The Lakers have just been letting the film of the first meeting marinate. I think they'll have a good game plan in mind for this game. The Bulls, of course, are still playing for seeding, but in reality, they'll be a playing team. They've been good enough down the stretch to be a playing team. Give me the Lakers, though. I think after they got buried on their home floor last time out, they're going to be motivated for this one. The Bulls playing another team in between, I think, is going to actually hurt them in the spot. But I'll lean to the Lakers. I think they just no-showed the game. They'll come out with more focus. I like the Lakers in the spot.
It's really the addition of D'Angelo Russell as well, man.
And
like,
Russell playing too.
Yeah, that's really big. Like that is another helpful scorer. And especially, I mean, honestly, I feel fine if Bron doesn't play. Like, I know there's going to be movement back to Chicago if LeBron doesn't play, but this is the lineup that was working. Like, this would be the lineup that was working for all those games that got them back to 500. And oh wow, don't look at this. The Lakers are under 500 now, so of course the Bulls are going to lose this game. I already kind of had it set in my mind that after I had picked Chicago and Chicago actually did win in that game, I was going to go Lakers in the second game, and nothing here has really changed my mind. The additional D'Angelo Russell to this team is going to make me like the Lakers even more here. So I'm with you. Pretty easy handicap there. I like the Lakers minus 2.5. Total at 227.5. It's actually gone up 2 points already.
I'm really not sure about this total. Like I think I'm going to lean under, but I really don't feel great about it. I don't know. I'm hoping that the Lakers have a better defensive effort in this game. But the Bulls defensively, they've been better with Beverly, so I think I'll lean under, and I'm hoping that the Lakers play a bit more physical, which might slow the pace down. That was really the takeaway for me in the first meeting. It just felt like Chicago wanted it more, and Chicago was willing to battle physically, and the Lakers didn't want anything to do with it. I'll lean under, but I don't feel great about it.
Let's play a game. Let's play the ref report game. Scott, who do you have for the Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers as the ref tonight?
So John Goebel is going to be the main ref.
John Goebel is 22-34 to the under this season with a total of 225.5.
Okay. The other ref is Ben Taylor.
My guy Ben Taylor is back.
Toronto's not involved, so.
And that is 30-30 on the season, and he has an average total of 230.5. Oh no, 230.
And the last ref is Jason Goldenberg.
Okay, great. He was right here because I had no idea how I was going to spell that for a second. All right, Jason Goldenberg also looks like another over rep, 29-15. He with the average total of 236. So
we said we were going to experiment with it, but we agreed that whoever's the main ref, that's the trends we're going to follow. Correct?
Yeah. So we'll let.
So
this will be one to watch. This will be a game to watch, and because now you have two guys that have totals in the 230s as the other two refs, but Goebel is clearly dragging this down with his under trend. So this will be a really good game to watch, and we can use this. And really, I like if once we get this down, these last couple of games, oh, we're gonna cook in the playoffs. Oh my god! All right, props. What you got?
So I think I have to look at. I think I have to look at Anthony Davis. Davis picks and chooses when he wants to dominate, but it seems like it's every other game. He wasn't very good against Chicago last meeting. He went for 15-9. I think he comes out with a much better performance. That's why I'm kind of picking the Lakers to win. I think AD comes out and does a better job on the glass. I like AD rebounds in this game. I think that he'll be able to get a double-double. I think he'll probably get to 12 rebounds or so. Vucevic got ejected But
It was so like he
Drummond
really
kicked his
like
ass
it.
for the
I
final
don't
two
know.
quarters.
I don't know if the other ref knew that he just got teed up, but it felt like he got teed up for the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, like it was just too quick how he got tossed, and he got tossed by two different reps. I really, and to this day, I still feel like he got teed up for the same, like getting pissed off at the same time. He just got teed up by two different reps for the same thing, and that ended up getting him ejected.
Yeah. But the point is, I thought that based on how the first meeting went, AD really got screwed over when Vucevic got ejected because Drummond is so much bigger than him that AD couldn't move him in the post. I think he's going to put up bigger numbers because he's going to have Vucevic on him. So I think AD actually has a good bounce back game. I think Drummond is actually a worse matchup for AD than Vucevic is. And since Vucevic might actually play his normal amount of minutes, I think AD has a good game here. But if you
Yeah.
watch that game, Drummond kind of killed AD the entire second half.
Oh, so they were like laughing and having a good. They were going back and forth. Like it was really fun to watch. They were going back and forth with each other.
I'm saying you look at the numbers for AD and Drummond kind of punked them, but people didn't really talk about it. I think AD has a good game with Vucevic playing his normal amount of minutes.
It was so unserious. Like those were literally two guys having fun on
Yeah.
the park playing against each other. Like it was so unserious. It was their world. All right.
And AD's also, he has connections to Chicago, right? Isn't he from there?
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
So give me an AD homecoming game.
God damn it. You guys know I love a narrative. All right, fine. I swear, if I ladder 80's points today and he doesn't fucking do it, I'm
If Vucevic
done.
doesn't get ejected, I
I'm
like his
done.
matchup.
I am so done with AD. I'm going to ladder his points today because it's at 25, and that's really ridiculous. Like 24 and a half is pretty ridiculous for AD. So we're getting a good price on 30 and 35, and we know he can easily walk into 35. So we'll ladder his props today. I swear this is I am done. I am done if it doesn't happen here. I also do like D'Angelo Russell today. I don't see his
points
line. Not for points and assists.
Okay.
I think I'll play I'll have a little something going on both. Just because he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot and he should really eat off, especially if AD and LeBron are in the game, he should eat off of just, GOAT assist, as I call them. All right. Next game of the slate. We have Patrick Beverley block. Still going. What is that at now? Did they make this unplayable yet?
I don't think he had one against the Lakers last game. So he might actually get this
No, he did.
cheap.
Because was it, or was that the Clippers? No, he didn't have it against the Lakers. It was against the Clippers because me and Munaf hit the parlay. My bad. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so he didn't. And it's back to plus 105. Yeah.
Him and Kyrie, the two most underrated over half a block prop guards in the league.
Yeah, man. Like it's just it's like no handicap. I don't know how to handicap it. He just gets it. And I don't think I've ever caught it in the game. That's the thing that's getting me. Like I keep watching, trying to catch him get the block, and I've never caught it. But then I'll look and I'm like, oh, he has a block. Like,
well, the Beverly one makes sense because he's got active hands. He's going to constantly move his hands around, and if he gets a piece on the ball, they might call it a block in general. So I can understand Beverly. The Kyrie one's a surprise.
All right. Next game of the slate, we have Los Angeles Clipper. Oh, wait, no. Before I do that, we got to talk about the official sponsor of Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and that is WinBet, because they're live in a whole bunch of states, including Massachusetts, where people are going to be losing a lot of money in the playoff time. We got the WinBet Win Hour each and every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Marquee games of the week for the best odds and payouts. You have the March Madness that you can still bet on the Final Four. Sign up today. Get a special offer. Bet $100. Get $100 limited to state availability. The DJ Long Shot Parlay of the Week, where if you hit the longest parlay of the week, you can get $1,000 free credit. So much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to winbet.com or download the WinBet app. Subject change terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know is a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And look out for the Masters contest. You have until this weekend Enter completely free to enter sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. You can win a 3-night stay at Circa Las Vegas and hang out with Sean and Ryan at Stadium Swim to watch the biggest golf tournament of the year. So if you don't win the contest, you can still go hang out with the guys and have fun. Use promo code SGP15 for rooms at Circa Las Vegas. And they are having the drawing for that at the Final Four watch party, which is this Saturday. YouTube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Hang out with Sean, Kobe, and Ryan as they watch the March Madness games with the Final Four watch party. They'll be doing a bunch of giveaways and prizes and all that stuff. And like I said, the raffle for the SGP Masters contest will be happening during the watch party. All right. Clippers versus the Grizzlies in Memphis. Grizzlies opened up at 5, now down to 4. 233.5 is the total. That's come up 6 points, actually. And for the Clippers here, we have Norman Powell questionable. Marcus Morris is out because of health and safety protocols. I don't actually remember the last time I've seen somebody out for health and safety protocols.
I was going to say, I think they demoted him anyway. I think Batum's the official new stretch 4. So I don't even know if Morris matters at this point. Didn't they announce that Batum was officially the starter and then he had the health and safety protocol stuff after?
I gotta remember what rapper it was that said fourth quarter. He said it in a song. He was like, fourth quarter, why the fuck is Batum in? And it was so funny.
He's actually been good for them, though, late in games. Batum.
Brandon Boston's not playing in this game either. For the Grizzlies, you have Ja Morant. Looks like he's going to play. Vince Williams is TBD. No Steven Adams still. No Zaire Williams still. And looks like, Tyus Jones is going back to the bench as Ja Morant is expected to start ramping back to his regular workload in the starting lineup. All right. Clippers and Grizzlies. What are you doing?
I'm going with the Grizzlies. I'm not really going to spend much time on this. I understand it was a back-to-back spot for Memphis. I know that they blew the cover against Orlando. Brutal beat there if you had the Grizzlies. But I don't think the Clippers are good. Like I've said it before, I don't think they're a very good basketball team. And you're looking at who they've beaten recently. The win against the Bulls, I guess that's a decent win because the Bulls have played better lately. But who was the last good team that the Clippers actually beat? You're going down the line here. They beat the Bulls, they beat the Thunder, they beat the Trailblazers, beat the Warriors at home. The Warriors can't win a road game. Beat the Knicks. I guess that's their last good win against the Knicks. But they beat the Grizzlies a couple weeks ago. That was a very high-scoring game. That game ended up landing in the 260s. But Morant didn't play in that game. So I don't know if I can actually use that. And Paul George also had a casual 42. And now he's, of course...
Brooks didn't play in that game either.
Yeah, Brooks didn't play. Morant didn't play. Paul George did. He had 42. So that game means nothing to me. I'm taking Memphis. I can't go against the Memphis team that straight up this season is 33-5 at home, and they're only laying 4. Give me Memphis.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Clippers. I wasn't on the show yesterday, but I kind of came to the realization like yesterday, and I'm just going to stand behind it of I'm perfectly fine fading Memphis for the rest of the season because I truly don't think that they care. Like I don't think they care. Yeah, they're not going to catch Denver. I feel like they feel comfortable in their spot with the Kings right behind them. Like they're just going out here and just trying to win games. I don't think that they're winning games by margin and that we can actually get some. Now, I would have liked to see a little bit more points here, but
I was going to say it's for the most principle. You're going to give me a 33-5 team with Morant playing at home, and they're only laying 4. I feel like that's just worth it in itself, but. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. You can.
No, you're good. I don't think that they're gonna be too serious, and we're gonna see how good the Clippers really are defensively because they're gonna need to slow down them inside the paint. Grizzlies 61.2 points inside the paint last 5 games. They are number 1 for the season in points in the paint, but second in the NBA in the last 5 games with that number. Clippers 15th in the NBA. That's decent defending the paint, so they're really gonna have to try to slow them down in terms of inside the paint. But I think that, the Grizzlies have fallen off defensively a little bit here. 17th. They've been one of the top teams defensively all season. 17th in points per game, 114 points per game. The Clippers are 8th in 110.2 points per game. And we'll see. Both of these two teams are shooting the hell out the ball right now, especially from three. Both of them are 40% from three this season. I think that this is a game that means a little bit more for the Clippers. And I am interested to see, and this probably will be one of the few times that I'll bet the Clippers, but I'm interested to see what Ty Lue does against one of the best teams in the West. And what adjustments does he make in this game? Do you just fold the game in? Like, do you just pack this game in? Because your spot in the standings is not solidified. Their spot is solidified. Your spot in the standings are not solidified. You're battling around Phoenix. Yeah, 4-5. And if you really can want to get home court over Phoenix, you can try to battle and try to get that. But Golden State is only a half game back behind you. And guess what? You're only one game out of the play-in. That's worst case scenario for you. Like, that is absolute worst case scenario without Paul George right now, is that you go on this stretch losing games and you find yourself in the play-in in this stacked West Conference. So, well, I wouldn't say stacked, but competitive Western Conference. I think that this game, one, means a little bit more to the Clippers. I think the Clippers are playing a little bit better defensively right now, where they can throw different looks at the Grizzlies and try to get them to throw off. And I truly don't think the Grizzlies care, like, at this point in the season, especially about playing games by margin. I can see the Clippers getting out early in this game and the Grizzlies battling back, and, you know, maybe they get a win. I'm just going to take the 4 points and stick with what I said, that I'm just going to fade the Grizzlies against the spread towards the end of the season, because I truly think that this is a team that does not care.
I'm not sure if they care in general, but I do think there's some pride element to it when it comes to being 33-5 at home.
Yeah.
So I'll lean Memphis.
I mean, and it's an amazing home atmosphere. Like, it's just an amazing home atmosphere.
I'll blindly take some rebound options for the Clippers, because in the last meeting, both teams shot very well, but the Clippers out-rebounded Memphis 53-26. I don't know how that even happens, but the Clippers had more than double the amount of rebounds the Grizzlies had in the last game. So if you want to go for some Zubac rebounds, or Mason Plumlee maybe, or even Kawhi or somebody, I wouldn't mind you going for rebounds, because when you 2x the other team's total rebounds, that's a murder. Like, that's crazy. So I wouldn't mind rebound props if you want to go for the Clippers.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and knock out the total while I figure out what props I want to play. It's at 233.5.
I think I'm going to lean over, because Ja's back, and defensively, Memphis hasn't been great lately. They were good against Orlando yesterday, but I just thought that was a good matchup. I'm going to lean over. The Clippers defensively, I still don't really like, and the Grizzlies, I'm not sold on defensively based on the recent form. Last meeting, both teams shot the ball like crazy, but that still landed 260 and change. I'm going to lean over. I think you'll see points here. I think each team could get to 117, so I'm going to go with the over.
When you put it like that. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we're getting the ass part of the number, though.
Could be right.
Nah,
but Morant being back helps.
Slightly into the under. I'll take slightly into the under. It comes in. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think we're getting the ass part of the number, though. That closing line value just scares me. So I'll go slightly under there. All right. Yeah. Kawhi's going to have a good game. And I have to back Kawhi if I think that the
Clippers are going to win.
Yeah, I have to back Kawhi. So I think Kawhi 26.5. It feels.
And Kawhi was especially horrible against New Orleans. So I think Kawhi bounces back in this game.
And the thing about Kawhi offensively is that, and this is what I love about great two-way players, is because great two-way players find ways to score over other good defenders. And I'm not really concerned with the fact that he's, getting the Dillon Brooks matchup today, because great two-way defenders always find ways to score on good defenders as well. Because they know, hey, how would I defend me? How would I play this? How would I do that? Like, yes, they are already prepared. And so that's why I like Kawhi Leonard in this. Well, that's one reason. But yeah, Kawhi Leonard over 26.5. Zubac has a day. Does he have a day?
Somebody's gonna have to rebound. Plumlee went 7 for 8 last meeting, so I guess if you want to make the argument that maybe Zubac takes a step back just based on them splitting up minutes between the two of them. But I am gonna look up the double odds because I am curious.
2-1.
I mean, that is pretty tempting. It's 2-1 on Zubac, and I don't see Plumlee odds. I'm curious how big of a long shot Plumlee would have been.
You'll see Plumlee towards the what's it called? So when closer to game time, they'll have Plumlee double odds. They normally drop in later. Let's see. What do you? But most of these games have Steven Adams, so it's really not going to help. But let's see if he has one that's recent.
I'm saying the last game they played,
he had 6 and 9. He had 6 and 9. Well, okay, so
he only played 18 minutes though.
Yeah, give me that. It's at 8.5, man. His rebounds are at 8.5.
That's also a bit of a problem though, because he only played 18 minutes. He was not in foul trouble, so they just decided to cut his minutes in order to keep pace with Memphis. So Zubac might not play that much because they want to go more athletic. That's the problem. Now, Kawhi and Paul George each had double-doubles last game with rebounds. Plumlee had 9 rebounds and 15 points in 21 minutes. But I might be out on Zubac, because the fact that he wasn't in foul trouble and he only played 18 minutes means that they might purposefully use a more athletic center and not use Zubac. So I wouldn't mind pivoting to Plumlee for a double-double. But I think I'm out on Zubac because then the limited number of minutes is concerning there in that spot.
Let me see here. I can't bet Nick Batum. All right, yeah, I'm with you. I was trying to look up a Batum aim goal because I see him at 4.5 at plus 110, but I can't do it. All right, I'm with you. I'm in on Plumlee, and I think we just wait for Plumlee lines to drop, and we get a very favorable double price with Plumlee and his. When they drop his line coming off the bench, it's like 5.5.
I was going to say it's got to be north of 5.
Yeah, it's consistently 5.5. I think maybe like a really good matchup, he's like 6.5, but there's no way he's at like 7.5. So 7 boards for Plumlee, and we should cash that. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Detroit Pistons going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City is laying 11.5 at home. 231.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams that we have for the Pistons: Alec Burks, Rodney McGruder are both out. And all the Bogdan, Isaiah Stewart, Hamidou Diallo, they're done for the rest of the year. And we'll see if Shea plays in this game.
I'm assuming he will, because they were going to let him switch off on the back-to-back. So they gave him the first day off, let him play the second day, if I had to guess.
All right.
I know you're all over Detroit rebounds, because I am too.
Mm-hmm. That's really easy. I mean, the interesting thing is that the line opened up 11 and it's at 11.5. So there's people that are betting OKC, and they're...
It's because Shea's going to play, most likely. But I'm just going to point out that the 3 big men for Detroit, Duren, Wiseman, and Bagley, each have rebound lines of 8.5. All 3 of them have the same exact line.
Like, do they not know who they're playing?
Reminding everybody that both Nick Richards and Kai Jones for Charlotte yesterday had double-doubles. Each of them had a double-double.
It's like we know OKC doesn't rebound in basketball.
No, they're one of the worst in the league.
Wiseman's
they lost yesterday.
Wiseman's really been killing me recently, though.
Yeah.
Bagley's been really good recently. Mm-hmm. It's like every time I pick Wiseman and I'm watching Bagley do everything that I thought Wiseman would do.
But what's the minute distribution? Wiseman and Duren switch off, but Bagley's on his own?
I don't know.
Because if that's how it works, I'll take Bagley.
I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that.
First of all, I'm taking...
I'm going the same angle. And I'm taking Duren off the bench.
Okay.
the best defenders for them are in that starting lineup. I mean, not defenders, the best rebounders for OKC are in that starting lineup. And once you get out of that lineup, there's literally nothing that should challenge him at all whatsoever.
By the way, to read off the minutes for Bagley the last couple of games, played 36 minutes against Milwaukee, 30 minutes against Toronto, 41 minutes against Atlanta, 30 minutes against Miami. He's had at least 8 rebounds in each of the last 3 games, had 9 plus in each of the last 2 games. I think I'm on Bagley.
You got to play Bagley. You have to play Bagley.
I think I have to. Those minutes are the main difference there, where Duren and Wiseman are going to switch off because they both play center. Seems like Bagley's kind of on his own. He's played north of 30 minutes in 4 straight games. So I'm going to go with the Bagley double-double. That'll be my main option. But you are right, though. Wiseman's been kind of horrible rebounding lately.
Yeah. Last time we
what is
picked
Bagley
two,
double-double? Like
last time we picked 2 of these 3, we missed because last time we missed Bagley. Bagley is a must play. Bagley, I think Bagley. Yes, I think Bagley is a must play, and then you can also play one of Wiseman or Duren and try to catch both. But Bagley is a must play at this point. You can't not play Bagley. He's playing all the minutes, and he's staying in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like Duren because again, I don't think it's anything short minutes that he does is probably going to get. He should be extremely effective on glass and putting up points as well. So. All right. Well, we skipped to the prop section. I'm
on Detroit.
I'm taking Detroit.
Of course.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm taking Detroit.
All 3 of us yesterday were talking about Charlotte money line against OKC. Now I'm aware that Shea didn't play, and there was some injury news for both sides before that game. But the premise was simple: we're not laying double-digit points with the Thunder. They don't guard anybody.
Yeah.
They give up 43 points to PJ Washington. How the hell am I supposed to back this team laying double digits? No, I got to lean to Detroit.
I'll take OKC in the first quarter just because Shea is coming off of rest and he's good for 10 first quarter points on his own.
I like the over in this game because OKC, once again, doesn't guard anybody. But I'm going to lean to the Pistons here. It's too many points.
OKC minus 3.5 in the first quarter. I like that. All right. Is there anything else?
I believe Munaf mentioned, by the way, that OKC is one of the worst first quarter offense teams in the league.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. All right, well, scratch that. I'm just going to go with Shea over...
I think you're going to say Thunder first half.
Oh.
Because that worked out yesterday. They got killed in the first
quarter, and then they had a good second. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go... Well, no, because first half is still too many points that I feel comfortable with. So
fair enough.
I'm just going to go back to my Shea first quarter play because I'm telling you, he's good for 10 in the first. And that first quarter line is 8.5 at minus 135. Bet. So 8.5 minus 135 for Shea Alexander.
I don't mind Giddey double-double, maybe triple-double. The rebounds might be tricky, but somebody's going to have to try to rebound the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Jalen Williams, the one who's suddenly in Rookie of the Year contention. It's not serious contention. Banchero is going to win the award by a wide margin, but
no, but he's one of the top 5 best rookies in the.
I think he's going to finish second. Based on how
he should be in all rookie first team.
Yeah, I think he will. But just watching him yesterday, he was incredible yesterday. I don't think he had 30, but he had like north of 20. He was really good. I don't see any lines on OKC though because they don't know who's going to play yet, besides Shea. So I'd look for his overs, though. I do think that Jalen Williams will have a good matchup here. Isaiah Joe threes, I like. He was very good yesterday against the Hornets. I think he has a good game, too. But I don't see props on any of those guys. But I like Giddey double-double, maybe even a triple-double in this game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see here. I don't know about... I can buy it. I can always buy myself into Giddey. Let me stop playing. I can always talk myself into Josh Giddey. All right. Here we go. Utah Jazz on the road as a favorite. Opened up as 5. Now it's at 4. 233 is the total against the San Antonio Spurs. That total's dropped 1.5 actually.
Because Markkanen's out.
Oh, is he out?
Yeah, he got ruled out like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks. Because I did not have the updated joint. So no Markkanen, no Jordan Clarkson, Fonte, whatever. He's questionable. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. And
You
for
mean
this,
Pablo Prigioni Jr.?
yeah. Eh,
That's a throwback.
Keldon Johnson. Yeah, I know. That's why it kind of caught me off guard. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell are both out. Jeremy Sohan is out as well. Wow, holy shit. So Malachi Brandon season. 100%. What? That is the first. What? Yes. What is his line? It is Malachi Brandon season today. That is another ladder for today. Great. I'm really fixated on this line right now. Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious what I'm doing, but what are you doing?
Both. If you bet on this game and you feel really, really confident about it, you're either backing a season-long trend with the Jazz,
Yep.
or you really need to go to a meeting. Because I don't trust either of these teams. The Spurs have just been actively getting hammered lately. They're getting
Mm-hmm.
killed. And Utah might not win another game for the rest of the season. Defensively, they're horrible. They're not even trying. They're giving Johnny Juzang minutes. They're giving Azubuike minutes. They're
Well, if you
just
keep making
throwing
them a
everybody
favorite,
out there.
they're damn sure not going to win another game for
That's
the
what I'm
rest of the
saying,
season.
but the Spurs suck. Like, I don't know if I can even take the Spurs +4 if they're going to be missing that many guys. Give me Walker Kessler props because he was really good last game. I could see him having another good game here. I don't know if I want anything in this game, to be honest. Like, I hate both these teams right now based on current form. The only player that I actually like on the Spurs is Mamu Ginobili. I'm a fan of Mamukashvili. I think that he could have a decent game here. But besides that, once again, the Spurs injury report's a mess. So what do you take? Do you take Trey Jones props if he plays? Do you take the assists? Is he
It's like
playing?
it's so destined for the Spurs to get Victor. Like it's so destined. Like this is
They're trying harder than any other team. So I kind of respect it. But
but it's like this is if diversity was a team, it's the San Antonio Spurs. Like, come on.
they could use a Frenchman. They're short of Frenchman. They need to add that
And there
little.
you go.
Yeah,
Wait, is
they
he?
need to
Yeah,
add
he's
it to the
French. Yeah,
melting
there you
pot.
go. So,
But
all right. Yeah, I'm still back in the season long train. Give me Spurs +5.
yeah, you're going based on the season, but based on the Spurs' recent form, I'd rather just
I
not
mean, I mean,
play.
on the Jazz recent form, do you really feel comfortable laying points with the Jazz?
Not at all. But my point is, I feel like based on the form of both teams, I'm going to use the season-long trend to not back the Jazz, but I'm not going to spend my money on the Spurs, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh no. Oh, anything that I would have probably bet on this game on a side is going on Malachi Brandon's point slider.
Having said that, there are a couple of double-doubles I might be tempted by. I see Olynyk double-doubles at 250. That's not bad. Mamu is 9-1, which his rebounds haven't been great. I'd rather just take his points. I think Trey Jones at 8-1 double-double's a bargain. The points might be a problem, but 8-1, Utah doesn't guard anybody. I think 8-1 for a starting point guard against this defense is a bargain. Give me Trey Jones double-double.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. Okay. Excuse me. I had a little ingestion there. I think we hit on everything actually. Oh, well, we didn't talk about total. Uh Under.
I mean, I guess I'm leaning over. I think.
You're going over, really?
I think I'm going to lean over.
Do you trust do you trust multiple players on both teams to actually score in this game? I think I
think
could
these
trust
two
1 to 2 players
defenses,
each team.
from what I've seen from the last week or two, these might be the worst two defenses in the league.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to lean over anyway and just hope that this turns into one of those classic awful tank games, which suddenly has 250 points. We see those games every now and then. You have two
Yeah.
games like who's going to be interested in this game? And then you just see 130 to 130. We kind of saw it yesterday with the Thunder and the Hornets, where it's like, who the hell cares? And it's like, wait a second, they're 250 points right now. I'm going to lean over. Why not?
I have no idea who the other person I trust to score on the Spurs is outside of Malachi Brandon.
They'll figure it out on the fly.
But I trust Olynyk and Abaji. I will let you know that. I trust Olynyk and Abaji to get it done for the Jazz. So, yeah.
I like the over in threes for any Spurs guy because once again, the Jazz play zone, and it's one of the worst zone defenses I've ever seen. So they're going to get a bunch of 3-point shots off.
Man,
I would have blindly taken Keldon Johnson 30+, but he's probably not going to play. So that's unfortunate.
No, yeah, he's out.
That's what I'm saying. If he was playing, I would have blindly taken him for 30+, but he's not. So Cassell's not playing either, right?
Nope. That's why I'm all over Malachi Branham. That's why I'm committed to this Malachi Branham ladder today. I'm
convinced that I'm on the Trey Jones double.
Matter of fact, what is his? Let me just go ahead and give out the price.
You want to go for points or threes?
For who?
Branham.
Oh, points.
Points? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going for the points.
Because Branham over 1.5 threes is plus 115.
Yeah, but I feel like when I take threes, I get the shit into the stick. But I'm getting 14.5 at minus 104. I can get 20 points at plus 340. And I get 25 at 12-1.
Okay.
There you go. Malachi Branham. That's the name. That's the tweet. That's it. All right. Nationally televised game. Minnesota Timberwolves are in the Valley to play the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns opened up at 5. It's at 5.5. I'm not gonna lie. I handicapped a 6.5 last night for Hardwood Culture, and I bet 6.5. So this has come back down.
It's crazy how much line moves in the NBA overnight.
Yeah, really. 235.5 is. I really thought this line was gonna go up. I'm not gonna lie. 235.5 is the total. You have, and that's why, because last night it didn't look like Karl Towns was going to play, but now he and Anthony Edwards are both probable for this game. Taurean Prince is questionable with the illness. Jalen Noel is questionable with the knee. Matt Ryan is out because he's a football player. And for the Phoenix Suns, I have nothing else for you other than Kevin Durant is in and playing in this game.
This is what movies are made of.
This is what movies are made of. And is this just the part of the movie where, like, the underdog I guess you say that the Suns are an antagonist because nobody seems to like them.
Most people don't like the Suns. So
nobody seems to like them. So is this just the part of the movie where the antagonist is beating up on the protagonist? Like, this is the Rocky film where Mr. T starts the movie and just beats the shit out of Rocky and takes the belt?
For me, I think I'm going to lean to Minnesota. Durant's coming back, which is huge, but you have to worry about chemistry and how they're going to divide up shots. And once again, they didn't play many games together in the first place. They look good anyway. In hindsight, they won a nail biter against Dallas. That didn't age too well because Dallas didn't win many games with Luka and Kyrie. That was like their main win that they had together. Minnesota's been good. You know, they beat Golden State on the road. That's a tough win. Nice comeback there. I love their role players. Kyle Anderson's one of my favorite role players in the league. I think he's a hell of a basketball player. But I'm looking at the Suns, and the big issue that I have, which was put on full display when Durant was out, their bench and their supporting cast are awful. Like, really, really bad. And it's not surprising, because you have to trade a lot of assets to get Durant. I get it. I don't like their bench at all. And I wonder what the minute restriction is going to be on Durant in this game. Is he playing 30? Is he playing 25? How many minutes do you think Durant plays in this game?
Oh no, I mean, I truly don't care how many minutes he played. I don't know. I truly don't know.
I'm asking, like, what do you think? Like 25 to 30?
I don't know, because Kevin Durant is comeback proof. He can come back and play 30 minutes and be perfectly fine.
He can come back and play well, but Phoenix wants to keep him healthy for the playoffs. So we're looking at what, 25 minutes, 30
minutes?
You're
asking me to speculate something, and I'm not going to speculate because I have no thoughts on it whatsoever. All I'm going to say is, what I do know is that when Kevin Durant returns from injury, he puts up points.
I'm going to lean to Minnesota. I think that this team is flying under the radar right now. Casual 6 seed. I don't know when that happened, but good for Minnesota. I'm going to lean to the Timberwolves.
No, I'm all over the Suns here. I think this is the game where the Suns flex their muscles back in the Valley with
maybe I'm viewing it like a Lakers game with LeBron coming back against the Bulls, where they're just like, we got Durant back, we're good.
Yeah, it's not the same. I don't think it's the same thing at all. I already bet Phoenix in this game. I think that this is a game where Phoenix just comes out here and they have the matchup. Like, you talk about their bench production, but they do have scorers coming off the bench, and how Minnesota plays defense. Yeah, Terrence Ross, TJ Warren, like those guys are scorers.
Okay.
Those guys
Yeah.
can create their own shots. Like, and
I get
because of that,
distracted by Cameron Payne chucking up a bunch of bad
oh
shots all the
yeah,
time.
well,
So yeah.
oh yeah. But no, they still got scorers coming off the bench, and how Minnesota plays defense, especially around pick and rolls and the drop coverage that they do play. That I think the mid range is going to be open all day, every day of the week in this game for Phoenix, and for a team with literally nothing but mid range shooters, that's really really dangerous for them. So I'm expecting Phoenix to just methodically pull away in this game and really, really flex their muscles and just remind people that, hey, when Kevin Durant is back on this team, because we just went 2-6 without him, 1-7 against the spread, that we are one of the top teams in the league. And I think this is definitely one of those flex your muscles moments. So I'm still sticking to my guns, riding with dancing with the team that brought you, or whatever
I also
freaking
forgot to
saying that
mention
people
that
have.
Aiden is back in the lineup, which I forgot to account for.
Yeah.
That helps. Okay.
And so I feel fairly confident that a full strength Suns team can roll over this Minnesota team.
I think they could, but I don't know. For some reason, maybe I just like what I've seen lately for Minnesota. I think that they're a bit feistier than people think they are. So I'm going to lean Minnesota, but to be honest, I forgot that Ayton was back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. I'm like, oh, Biyombo is going to be guarding. I'm like, all right, I can live with
Nah.
that. No, you got Ayton there. That's not fun.
All right. Totals at 235.5.
I'm not even sure on this one. I think I'm going to lean under. It just feels large to me, doesn't it? Minnesota had a
wanna play
very
a game?
low-scoring game against Golden State.
I have no thoughts. So you want to play a game? Let's
The
play a
ref
game
report?
of what ref is it?
I like how we're going to keep doing this segment. We're going to
Oh,
change
yeah.
the name of the game show every time we do it.
Absolutely, every single time. All right. So
I see
what do you
Eric
got?
Lewis as the main ref.
How does he? Okay, I see him. He is 30-28 with 228.9 points per game.
Okay. I see you, Rodney Mott.
Rodney Mott is 24-24 with 227.4 points per game.
And I see Lauren Holtkamp.
Lauren Holtkamp is 22-12 with 234 points per game. It's always an outlier.
There's an
Every
outlier, but
time.
all three refs you just mentioned have totals on average under this number.
Yep.
So,
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. I mean,
I'm going to lean under.
I think it's a 50-50 toss up on how it goes. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's just go under.
I like how Minnesota guarded Golden State. I'm hoping that Phoenix might take some time to get reacclimated with each other again. And Minnesota, truth is, I was going to mention in the prop section, which kind of goes against my thoughts on leaning Minnesota. Anthony Edwards kind of looks horrible out there because he's injured and he's clearly playing through it and he can't really move that well. If he's going to be limited, do they have enough scoring options to actually put up massive amounts of points?
Does Torian Prince count?
I thought he said he's not playing.
Torian Prince is questionable.
I was going to say he might not play. So they don't have many
If he does play,
here.
Does he count?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Actually,
no,
his birth week already passed.
Count.
I don't know if that counts.
No, he doesn't fucking count. There's no.
But he
He
owns
does
the
not
Knicks.
fucking count. Whatever. All right.
I'm going to
Any
lean
other
under.
props?
Any other props? I like Edwards under.
Yeah.
I'm going to back the recent form. He clearly
like
rushed back from injury because they need him to play in order to make the playoffs. But he barely.
They did adjust though.
20 right
He's
now.
down to 22. Yeah, he's down to 22.5. He's normally at 24.5.
Yeah, but you look at the games. He's topping out at like 17.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean to the under on Edwards.
I mean, it's Kevin Durant over 22.5. That's it. That's the tweet. Like he continues to score when he comes back from injury. That I just don't.
I'm going to keep going with Kyle Anderson rebounds and assists, or PRA. I just really love his game. He is so good as a double-double guy because he can get you rebounds or assists, but hell of a role player. Hell of a role player. I like him in the spot. Gobert rebounds?
Jaden
never
McDaniels.
again. Okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I like Naz Reid because he's going to be matched up against Landell, but once again, I don't have numbers on Reid because he's a bench player.
Oh yeah, when he come, oh yeah, I can so get behind.
He's
I
gonna
can
kill
definitely get behind
Wendell
Nasri.
if they have
Yeah,
lines up. He's gonna
I
kill
can
Wendell.
definitely get behind Nasri when that drops. Definitely on that. It's
Actually, it
gonna
might not
be
be
9.5.
Wendell. It might be Biombo, but still, I
But
like the
still,
matchup anyway.
9.5. Not. It's gonna be like 9.5, 8.5, 9.5 when it drops. I feel confident with that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Before we get to the last game of the slate, let me go ahead and
Oh
talk to you
yeah, I
about
like
Shady
Chris Paul
Rays.
under in points.
Oh,
Sorry, I like Chris Paul under in points because Durant's coming back. Chris Paul's going to take a back seat and a half. I'm on the under on Chris Paul points.
all right. Shady Rays, our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with suns from the sun to the slope, from premium polarized shades to customized snow goggles. They got everything you need. They're an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product. And look, they have the exact thing that you need for our listeners, and that's a deal, a great deal. You can go to shadyrays.com, use promo code SGPN, and get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. They are rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. They donate to Feeding America. And if you don't love them or they break or anything, you can exchange them and return them for free within 30 days. So shop shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. All right, last game of the slate. Probably going to be a quick one. Sacramento Kings going to play the Portland Trailblazers. Kings are laying 13.5 on the road. Opened up at 12.5. It's at 13.5. Totals at 235.5. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Sacramento Kings nothing.
It's all hands on
Everybody's
deck.
Yeah, all hands on deck. And that is the complete opposite of what it is for the Portland Trailblazers, where it's absolutely no hands on deck because you have no Anthony Simons, no Jeremy Grant, no Yusuf Nurkic, no Damian Lillard, no Trenton Waterford is doubtful.
He got injured in that Thunder game, I think.
Yeah. Cam Reddish is doubtful as well. Like, okay, all right.
What
Kings,
is this? Is this a G League team?
what can we not how big is this number have to be for you not to lay it with the Kings?
There's only one number that matters, by the way. And I know you were on the right side of it for the Kings last game because you thought the moment might be a bit too big for the Kings at home. 2005. 2005.
Yeah.
It's the only number that matters.
Yeah.
If the Kings win today, they
clinch
clinch the playoff spot for the first time since 2005.
Yep.
They have not been playing good basketball lately, but they're healthy. Portland just got run out by 30+ to the Pelicans. I got to go Kings here.
There's not. I just don't know what you could set the number at that I would sit here and say, man, maybe I should take Portland at this spot. Like, we're not even
talking. They don't have an NBA team. It's a G League team.
Okay. All right. Kings 13.5.
It's a lot of points for a team that's been struggling lately, but I think the Kings come out and bury them. I got to read off the projected starting lineup, by the way, because Nurkic is out too. Arcidiacono is starting at point guard.
I didn't know how to say his name.
Shout out to Villanova. Shaden Sharp, shooting guard. Matisse Thybulle, Nasir Little, Drew Eubanks. That's a starting lineup in the NBA. Kings better win this game by 20. That's all I'm saying. They better win this game by 20 points.
I mean, that's not even the concerning thing for me. It's like when you get past those people, who is coming off the bench? Like,
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that question.
Kevin Knox.
Knox actually been okay for them. Decent 3-point shooter for them. Randomly.
So I was trying, and we'll talk about this in the prop section. I was trying to figure out who was that random, Portland player, because I'm gonna have money on some random Portland player.
Oh, Arcidiacono doubles like the ultimate degen play here for Portland. I don't know if he's going to score or not, but Arcidiacono is going to get all the assist chances that he can get.
Yeah.
You going with Keegan Murray threes to break the rookie record? Came out flat last game.
No. I think he made one, and then
he went 1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah. I knew he was going to get the attempts. I'm really great that I pivoted off of that when Fox was in the lineup. I felt good with it with Fox out the lineup, but when Fox was in, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. So yeah, 2.5 minus 120. He's going to get it today. Like he only needs 2 more.
He needs 2 or 3. I think it's 2.
Yeah, so he's going to get 3 today.
To answer your question for Portland, though, it's either going to be Sharp or Little because they're going to get all the shot attempts for this team.
Sharp is at 20.5.
Well,
Little's
Sharp
at
should be
15
high
and a
because they
half.
got killed by New Orleans by 30 and change, but he played 30 plus minutes anyway because he's young, he's blowout proof.
Yeah, Nazir Little as well. 15 and a half for Nazir Little feels way short. So yeah, it's gonna be Little. That's gonna be the person I bet on. 15 and a half. All right.
I
I
like
mean,
Archiaco assists.
yeah, I can get into that. Anything else?
Sabonis triple double I thought about, but it's 390. Great
I like that,
matchup
Jake.
against Eubanks, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to play in the fourth quarter. I don't mind Jake's play there with Fox
I
under.
like that.
I
Yeah,
think that's a very smart play.
Jake said that too risky to take Fox under ? He's usually a second half scorer. Maybe they're up by then, up big by then. So
I think he's
yeah,
right.
yeah, I agree. I agree. He is a second half scorer, and he's not playing much in the second half. I can tell you that right now. So
The Kings
what's his
better
line at?
win this game by at least 15. That's all I'm saying.
I truly like. I feel like
I can't
this line
take
is
props
short.
for the Kings because I don't know who the hell is going to be playing in the third and fourth quarter. This game might be over at halftime.
I just don't like. Why does this not feel short? I know it's 13 and a half, but does this not feel short?
We've seen
Are they
7
really
teams around the league.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And this should be one of those 16, 17. I really feel like this is short, man.
I think it is short.
All right.
Some of the argument might be Portland keeping close against the Thunder, but we just saw the Thunder lose to the Hornets, so that means nothing to me.
And then they get ran out the gym by the freaking Pelicans. Like, yeah.
You had a shot to clinch a playoff spot at home. You lost. The Kings will be motivated to clinch a playoff spot. They already had the nerves get out of the way.
They're gonna be on the sideline in the third quarter, hype because they know that they just took this team to the playoffs for the first time since 2005.
I think they come out and bury them.
All right, lock and dog time. For my lock, I'm going to. Do I want a Chance Brunson playing?
By the way, Murray needs 3 to pass Mitchell, 2 to tie.
Oh, yeah, 2.5 minus 120. That's my lock. Keegan Murray over 2.5 minus 120. No, because let me not do that. That was a really emotional. And he has more games. Like, he doesn't have to get it done. He has plenty of games to get this record. So that was really emotional.
You know, in Portland, though, the last 3 games, opponents are shooting 45% from 3. 45%. And they're already a bottom 10, bottom 5 3-point defensive team in the league.
How do they not get anything they want? All right, let's go with my first play. Knicks first half minus 2.5. I'm just gonna bet on Brunson playing. For my dog. If the Clippers were 2-1, I would have took them, but I'm not interested at plus 140. Honestly, it's not. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Neither is Dallas either. Juice isn't worth the squeeze there either. The Nets don't lose this game, do they?
I don't think they do, but I mean, you can make a case for it. You got them plus the points. Maybe Houston first half. You just hope they jump them.
Even the Spurs isn't. I'm just not getting the price that I want. Like,
a player prop.
I want to. Yeah, I guess I got to go with a player prop. Let's go with Branham. There's multiple people that I like today, but let's go.
You taking an alt line of 20, or what number are you taking?
The 20 is plus 340. Like, come on, that is insane. Okay, so my honorable mentions, but the price wasn't there. I had an honorable mention for Clippers to win the game outright, but that's plus 140. It's just not worth it to me. Honorable mention was the Spurs first half, but that's plus 125. I'm not betting the Spurs to win any type of thing and getting plus 125. So that wasn't worth it to me either. But Branham is 100% worth it at 20 plus points for plus 340. Because we've seen him do it with Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell be out, and he's just taken over scoring for this team and literally taking all the usage that those two have gotten and been able to succeed. And now you're playing a Utah Jazz team that has absolutely nothing defensively. You talked about their zone being one of the worst zone defenses in the league. And yeah, I think that this is a spot where if we get a couple of threes, he's easily going to walk into this 20 plus points. So 20 plus points plus 340 for Malachi Branham. That's my dog. What are you doing?
All right. So quickly, my lock's going to be the Kings. I think they bury them. I'll take the 13.5. It should be 16 or 17. They're going to kill Portland. So give me the Kings as my lock. For my dog, give me Trey Jones. I don't mind the assist ladder, actually. 8 plus assists is plus 190. 10 plus assists is 5 to 1. I'll give out the 190 as my dog, but I'm going to probably have a play on 10 plus assists. Utah last 3 games, allowing 34.3 assists per game, the most in the league by 2 plus assists. It's not even close. They hand out more assists than any other team by a wide margin. Give me Trey Jones assists. I'll take the 8 plus at plus 190.
All right. And well, that was it. That was everything. We did everything. All right.
2 hours
Great. Yeah, it was very much a lot of content, but there's people like, look at everybody that's still here. So appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the kind words, everything you guys do, all that. Make sure you leave us a review. Make sure you like the pod on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, all that other stuff. Man, what are we doing? Follow us. You know where to follow us at. Scott, do you have anything else before we get up out of here?
No, you can find me on Twitter, Rice Show Radio. I see Wrath asking if I like Trey Jones double-double. I mentioned it. The points might scare me off because he doesn't shoot that much, so I don't mind the assist numbers if you're afraid of the points, but I'll throw that in there for fun at 8 to 1 as well. But other than that, though, we'll be doing a tennis podcast probably either tonight or tomorrow. We got baseball season starting tomorrow, so if you want to check out the MLB show, I'm not on that, but they have baseball coverage for you. And Terrell and I are going to be doing some NFL win totals later this week, so stay tuned for that.
Yep, very much so. Y'all should really bring this audience into the NFL Gambling Podcast audience. We don't get anybody watching us live.
Nobody.
So, like literally nobody. So whenever we drop that, you guys should really come tune in and talk to us. We'd be bored. Other than that, yeah, we said it all at really __. I've got nothing else. No idea what to say. No idea what to do. No other way to end the podcast. Just gonna end it like this. We are out of here.